Hello, hello, everybody. I'm Spanish teacher. I'm here with Dragons AK-47, both from Cloud 10. We're going to be bringing you the Players Anonymous versus Funky Ducks series from the first round of playoffs in Ionia. If I'm not mistaken, this is a top seed versus one of the lower seeds in Ionia taking each other on here. Dragons, do you have any thoughts going into this matchup before we pull up our pro draft?
Um, as a top laner, I've played against some of these players before, and I've just got to say that they got some pretty good players. I played against Brace Pork. They got Timo. That's probably a big pan you want to have a thought about. Is like you can't let that champion go through. He might just not play it much, but very big champion for him. Uh, Other than that, not really much.
Yeah, of course. So, having played against both these teams, I mean, we can obviously see the draft right now, and it's up on the stream. So, taking a look at the bans coming out of both sides, there's that Timo as you predicted. It's kind of an offshoot ban that you don't normally see typically coming out of these Ionia teams, especially. But they do have over on the side of Funky Ducks a player who does spam Timo in his rank games, so they decided to get that away from him. Uh, and then over on the side of Funky Ducks, taking out the Echo, the Kane, Senna, Diana, and Jin. Um, Thoughts on these bans? Do you think they were going for the targets, or anything about maybe just sort of trying to warp around their meta or the draft that they ended up picking up?
I do know that Diana is one of Reaper's most played champions in ranked, so it's probably, and as the champion is really strong right now, I think that was a really good ban they had. And other champions like Echo, Kane, highly contested picks in the jungle, probably very good bans to get out of the way for also Players Anonymous. And then look at the side, I think when they were banning out for the Funk Ducks, they banned out like probably just a bunch of champions the players are more comfortable on. Because you don't think, when you think of meta picks, you normally see Zyra, Timo, Nunu. So they're probably just comfort picks they're banning out to make sure those players are a little more uncomfortable with the game they're given.
Yeah, of course. So over on the side of Players Anonymous, it looks like we're going to be having a Maokai in the top lane, a Set in the jungle, Ziggs mid, and then a Kaisa Yumi in bot. And then over on the side of Funky Ducks, it looks like we're going to be having a Nasus in the top lane, Sejuani in the jungle, Cassiopeia in the mid, and then Ezreal Leona in the bot lane. Any thoughts you have on these matchups before we get into the game here? Any particular matchups you see going strictly one way? Any disadvantages, advantages coming out of either side?
For the bot lane, I know this is still patch 10.12, so the Yumi nerfs haven't come in yet. So I think that the bot lane for Kaisa Yumi is probably going to do a lot better than Ezreal Leona, at least later in the stage. Leona is going to have a hard time sticking on Kaisa and Yumi due with the movement speed and the constant mobility both those champions offer. And Ezreal is more of a scale champ anyway, so I don't think much action is going to be coming out of the bot lane. But as for top lane, it's a Maokai versus a Nasus, so there's probably not going to be much terms of fighting. So I think most of the fight is going to be happening mid with the Cassiopeia and the Ziggs, along with the Set and Sejuani junglers. Ziggs is a very easy target for Sejuani to Q ult. So unless Ziggs takes cleanse, it might be kind of a kill lane for that Cassiopeia.
Yeah, so good thing you pointed out here. This is patch 10.12, which is why Players Anonymous decided to go for that early Yumi pick. It does have its counters though. It's particularly in like the Leona coming out of the side of the Funky Ducks. Um, if that Yumi makes any mistakes, hops off, it's really easy for that Leona to punish her. So we're gonna see if that happens anytime throughout this game. Um, as far as win conditions here goes for these teams, what are your thoughts on the win conditions for the sides of Players Anonymous versus the Funky Ducks?
Players Anonymous looks more like a kind of a brawl. They have much more sustain than Funky Duck looks like they have. They've got Maokai with constant healing from his passive. Yumi's just an overall team fight menace with the 1E heals half your player's health bar. So I think that Players Anonymous want to play a bit safe, wait for the Yuumi to scale, and Funky Ducks, although they have a scaling comp in terms of Cassiopeia, Ezreal, Nasus, I think they're going to have to take it a bit more early, try to beat them before the Yuumi can scale, because I think Yuumi has better scaling than any of the champs they have on their team.
Yeah, for sure. The Funky Ducks definitely do have an interesting comp because they are going to want that Nasus and that Cassiopeia Ezreal to scale up, but they do have that engage and disengage coming from the Sejuani and Leona. Uh, so we're going to see how this plays out, but we're going to toss it to the game here. So give us a few seconds and we'll be right into the action. And we're back and we're in the game. So taking a look at the summoners here coming out of the Funky Ducks and the Players Anonymous, you said that you really think that Ziggs should have gone for some sort of cleanse to keep him safe from the Cassiopeia, the Leona, the Sejuani, all that CC coming out of the side of the Funky Ducks, but he opted to go for the Ghost.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but I could see why he did it. Sejuani, like if you have your Ghost active already, Sejuani's ultimate is easily dodgeable if you have you have vision of the champion, you know where it's coming from. Same thing with Leona, very telegraphed ultimates that can, if you see them running at you, they're probably going to throw it out. So if you have your Ghost, you could probably just proc that. But I still think Cleanse would have been a much safer option for the immobile mage, or mage mid. Combining two words together.
Yeah, so a couple of interesting things to point out on top of that. We have Dark Harvest over on the side of the Funky Ducks on the Ezreal. And then we also have the Spellbook coming out of the Nasus. I'm not sure how normal that is from a Nasus as a top laner. Is that something that you normally take on Nasus?
Spellbook is making it's kind of complicated. Like Spellbook's more of a, I guess if you want to take like combat runes, like you want to have the Ghost Flash or the Ignite Teleport, you want Spellbook. If you want to play the safe Nasus, the one that you're just gonna, you're gonna be in a losing match. Say you get your Darius or another kill lane like Renekton, you're gonna want to take the standard TP stuff like Phase Rush or Grass to help sustain. But when you're against a champion like Maokai, you see like Maokai's probably not gonna be doing much damage, or at least probably not gonna be hurting me. So you want to take something more, like a Ghost Exhaust, start off with that. You can swap around to a TP if you need that. You can swap to your Flash. You can have Ignite. It allows more versatility. You
sure.
Get you need.
We have a Set getting caught out here over in the river. And the first blood going over to the Ezreal. But Yuumi and Kai'Sa are going to try and take down the Ezreal. On top of that, Yuumi gets caught out. There's the stun coming from Leona. She's not able to jump back in, but she gets her way into the Kai'Sa. And she gets out safely. So Set right there decided they were going to throw that ward over on the red buff of the Funky Ducks, see where the jungler was starting, and he was going to go for an early invade. He decided to go for it, but he did get caught out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the best idea for him, considering his team needs to be scaling up. But maybe he wanted to go for the big all-in play, get the Sejuani behind early. It just did not work out.
Yeah, and we did see a loss of summoners coming down from the Kai'Sa and the heal, and then the Yuumi losing both her exhausts and her ignites. Where Ezreal still has his heal but lost his flash, and Leona lost both of hers as well. Ziggs is going to be taking out a strong trait from the Cassiopeia, putting her down in health and mana.
If I were on the side of Funky Ducks right now, I'd probably just, you gotta be looking for the mid lane right now. You see that their bot lane is behind right now. The Yuumi has already burned all her sums. The Set's already behind.
Yeah.
That leaves. Oh, and here we go.
We got some more action coming out of the mid lane. Set coming from behind for a gank onto that Cassiopeia, but it's matched by the Sejuani, and Leona is roaming right up to mid. It's a great follow on her half.
Now that is a very selfless roam for the Leona to go for, but you can see it's probably a smart idea due to the Ezreal. You know, they pushed in lane really hard. You know, Ezreal has got the beautiful escapes. Oh my god.
Ooh, we almost see a solo kill coming out from the Maokai in the top lane, but Nasus is able to escape with that exhaust and that ghost, but he does lose both of his summoners out of that. And he's deciding to stay. He's got that healing from his passive and the 3 rejuvenation beads.
That is, you know, people do that a lot on certain champions, but I usually send to things more like the Darius or the Teemo, the ones with big damage over time abilities. But I never really thought I'd see a triple rejuve beat into a Maokai. That's much of a...
Yeah,
right.
You wouldn't think so, but he decided to go for it. It worked out for him pretty well here. He's just staying healthy up in the top lane, keeping his passive stacks going. Maokai's not going to just be able to jump in and punish him for that low damage start.
Oh.
And Yumi getting caught out again in the river, trying to place some wards, but she gets out safely.
Lucky cat.
Yeah, lucky cat. She's still got 9 lives.
The Sejuani held the Q for just a bit longer. Probably could have.
Here we go. Oh. Yumi getting jumped on. We got a Knight and a heal coming out. Sejuani coming down for the fight as well. Kai'Sa's gonna try and take one with her, and she does. Yumi pops out. And a double kill from the Yumi. You wanted her to scale, but she's not gonna need to because she's getting all of the gold.
All right, now if I was Funky Ducks, I'd be a bit scared right here. You got the 2 kills on the Yumi. That is 600 gold. That champion doesn't really have much in terms of gold generation, so getting that 3 gold right there, that gets to your Athenes much quicker, which leads to your ADC, the Kai'Sa being much more powerful. And we got some fighting going on in the mid.
Yeah, we're back to standard farming and trading in the mid lane. Yumi backed, he got him a Jai's.
Oof.
She's, yeah. I mean, I'm not expecting it, but, you know, I would love to see it.
I really
just for
thought
funsies. You know, she's like, she's in her head, she's like, I've got 2 kills, you know, it's time for the carry cat. Get me a Ludens, get me a Majai's. She's gonna throw out all the Qs. Ooh, beautiful ultimate to save her life coming out of Cassiopeia.
She barely just had enough mana for that one too. That was lucky. If she had just cast maybe one more E or one more Q before that set rolled up, that would have been one dead snake.
Oh yeah, change the name to the Lucky Ducks because she got out of that.
A little poke going on bot.
So we see a beautiful pink ward coming out. If you look on the mini-map on the side of Players Anonymous, spotting that Sejuani before she's able to make her rotation into the mid lane outside of that red buff area on the side of Funky Ducks. And we do have Leona jumping in and taking the Sejuani out with him, but he does die for it, so we have a 1-for-1 trade coming out. Leona jumping back on. We see a heal coming out from the... Nope, not from the Ziggs, from the Kai'Sa. And this Yumi's keeping everyone healthy.
That was a close one for the Ziggs. Oh, never mind.
Yep.
Ziggs gone.
Yep, Ziggs is gone, giving that kill over to the Ezreal.
Spoke a bit too soon right there.
Yup. That's alright. So, both teams pretty even in gold right now. 400 gold difference. 500 gold difference coming out on top with the Players Anonymous. But like we said, Yumi's got a bounty. She's getting strong. Level 6 on the Kai'Sa, level 4 on the Leona. This Kai'Sa, I mean, picking up only 1 kill, but she's getting up there, especially with the Yumi buff on top of her. I think bot lane's gonna be one to watch out here for the Funky Ducks.
Yep, and another thing I want to point out right now is that all the vision control that Players Anonymous is just getting out right now, they cleared like 3 wards right there. They're definitely got the scuttle. They're definitely a stat like getting... Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, it's, Players Anonymous is going to start out that dragon, but Funky Ducks have their eyes on the prize as well, and they are right behind them. We're watching top lane, but there we go. Leona missing with the E. Sejuani's in the middle of the fight, but Set decides to take him with a slam. And then they're going to stay on to Leona. She's going to go down as well, leaving Ezreal by himself. That is a 0 for 2 trade coming on the side of Players Anonymous. Nasus right now is doing his best to scale up. Hopefully they can take this to the late game. Right now sitting at 126 stacks. What's that look like for a Nasus at level, or at the 9.5 minute mark?
You know, I used to play a lot of Nasus. This was the thing that always happened to me when I played. You would be,
run down the cat.
Top lane. Oh.
Run him down?
You got the
he's gonna get out.
This is the thing that happens. Your champion, you see, you need scaling, you need time. But when you look down bot and you see, you got the 2-0 Kai'Sa, you got the 2-0 Yuumi, you see your bot lane is losing in farm. It's not looking good. You can't really do much against the kiting of like the Yuumi. She's got the ult CC, the Kai'Sa's got her mobility. There's not much you can do to run that down unless you have your ghost up and you have the perfect, like, maybe flash engage with your W. So Nasus, very immobile, probably not going to do so well into the Yuumi Kai'Sa, especially with CC coming in from Maokai and Set and the Ziggs. So I'd be a little scared if I were Funky Ducks right now, because your late game scaling champion might not be scaling so well if your bot lane's not looking good.
Yeah, Sejuani decides she's gonna try and sneak the Rift Herald, and she's able to do it. And then we see an Smithy whiff coming from the Sejuani, letting the Set get out scot-free. He did have to burn his flash. That is a pretty useful tool on the Set, but he did save his own life. So that's a great pickup over there from the side of the Funky Ducks, picking up that Rift Herald, allowing them to push some plates back over on their side. But we do see bot lanes taking out some plates of their own. So if you're on the side of players, on the side of Funky Ducks right now, what's your game plan? Their bot lane is scaling up pretty well and pretty fast. Oh, before you get to that, we have a fight coming out of the mid lane. Cassiopeia, no mana, not able to help very much. So yeah, back to what I was saying, if you're looking on the side of the Funky Ducks, what are you gonna do here? What's your goal? Are you trying to just stall this out, scale as much as you can, pick up some objectives, trying to steal up those bounties from the bot lane? What are you thinking?
Well, you got a Cassiopeia, but I don't think you can do much with her yet. So this is what you'd probably have to do. It might be a little crazy, but you need to try to force things bot lane. You need to have the Nasus come down, maybe with a TP or something. You need to dive for those bounties on the Yuumi and the Kai'Sa, because they're still not strong yet. You still have hope. They're still in the process of scaling, though they've been accelerated just a little bit with those 2 kills on both of them. So you have a chance still. If you can somehow just suffocate them while they're still trying to grow, you'll have a chance to maybe bring yourself back into the game, get the nice bounty, say, on your Ezreal, make sure he scales nice and well, because Ezreal can one-shot Kai'Sa.
Maokai taking 2 tower shots for the play right there, and he's got to get run down by the Nasus. And that's a solo kill, +6 coming out of the Nasus.
+12.
Oh, my bad, +12. Double it. We do see Set hiding down here as well. Yuumi gonna use her ult, get some roots, and
it's a good E from
nothing gonna come out of that except for a bunch of ultimates and summoners. So the one thing that Funky Ducks do have going for them is the hard CC coming out of the Sejuani and the Leona from a decent range. If they're able to stack those on top of each other and keep that Yuumi and Kai'Sa locked down, they can get those shutdowns pretty easily. But it's really going to require some setup, because they are strong, and this set is keeping an eye on that bot lane, making sure that they can get up to the level they need to for them to carry from down there.
I can see the Sejuani and the Leona. They could definitely shut down this Kai'Sa Yuumi if they land all. They pile the CC. They got Nasus in trouble.
Nasus says, "I don't give a heck," and he's going to. Oh, Smithy again.
Oh, man.
We have another whiff coming from the Sejuani, but Set decides he's going to jump on everybody, and Funky Ducks getting destroyed in their own jungle. that bot lane, 404, 406, they're something to watch out for. Yumi with the blue buff. Oh man, this
Oh,
is turning into a rough game for the Funky Ducks.
Nasus is now alt tilt farming.
Oh yeah. He's thinking to himself, I gotta get as many stacks as possible so I can just one-shot this Yumi with a Q.
That's definitely not. That's as a top player, I can feel his frustration right now. He's just you watching your team slowly fall apart around you, and you're playing a champ. You can't really TP in to help. You can't really group. If your team is that far behind, there's not much you can do to help them. So you're just sitting along for the ride, hoping for the best now.
Hoping for the best is what he's doing. He was able to take down that tower, but Kaisa and Yumi are deciding to go that way as well. So he's probably not going to want to match into that. I think he will get destroyed a little bit. Yumi sitting with the 18 stacks on the Medjai's. 110 ability power coming from that Medjai's right now. I don't know about you, bud, but that's scary.
And Yumi
It's a
did
scary
pick up the
cat.
McHales. So
Yeah.
even the win condition with the Funky Ducks with their CC lock on the Kaisa, that might not even be possible now due to the McHales purchase, the early McHales. I have never seen a Yumi be that selfless before.
Yumi getting the middle of that Leona stun. She's still alive, but she's gonna get shut down, and so is the Kaisa. Both shutdowns going to the side of the Funky Ducks. Ziggs is gonna do his best to scuttle away, but and it looks like he's gonna do that. So that's a huge pickup on the side of the Funky Ducks, getting those shutdown golds.
Now, that was just a misplay on the Yumi right there. If the Yumi would have was on the Kaisa, that would have been definitely both of them would have gotten out just fine. Nothing would have happened. But because they got a little complacent, they thought they were too far ahead for anything bad to happen. They decided to dismount at the tier 1 top turret with people around. And that just led to the giant shutdown, almost evening the gold. Only 1k down for Funky Ducks now, which is not looking good.
So 400 gold of that shutdown went to the Sejuani, and 400 went to the Nasus. But Maokai looks like he's gonna get caught out here. Oh, he hits his ultimate this time and stops him from moving. But Nasus is gonna fall down and give a shutdown of 150 gold over to Kaisa, and that is not someone you want to have that additional gold go to if you're on the side of the Funky Ducks. They're gonna try and take this Rift Herald up here in the top side. We do see a ward from the Funky Ducks over in the top side Tri-Bush, but that's not gonna spot out the set. The set should be able to take this for free unless Sejuani rolls up in here, and she does, but it still goes over to the side of Players Anonymous. So Players Anonymous right now with a 2.3k gold lead, a Fire Drake, and an Ocean Drake, and a Maokai who doesn't give a hoot.
You just go in. I mean, when you're 2 levels up on the Ezreal, like, why not?
Exactly. I mean, he's got his Bramble Vest. He's got his Bomby Cinder. He's got a lot of 2 levels on top of that Ezreal. He's not gonna die anytime soon to that.
Now, one thing I did just realize is that I'm not sure if they swap around normally, but on the website, Sniper is usually their top laner, and for now he's playing the top, or he's their support normally, and right now he's playing top, and their usual top laner is playing ADC, while their normal ADC is playing support. So that's a 3-man role swap.
I mean, we just watched the role swap team role swap their opponents to oblivion. I don't think anyone's surprised at these role swaps right now, especially if you've played any Ionia this season. It's just been like role swap hell for your opponent.
Yeah, it reminds me of the game we played against them.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that though. We do see a fight breaking out over on the side of the Funky Ducks. Leona gonna hit the center on the Ziggs. She's gonna jump into the middle of 4 people. Cassiopeia is gonna throw out some damage from the outside. Kaisa's getting a double kill. Make it a triple. She's gonna hunt down for that quadra, but it's not gonna happen. We're gonna see the Riptero pump out into the mid lane, probably take down that mid turret. There it goes. He's gonna, oh, nope, decided against it. They pinged him off. They're like, dude, I know you want it.
Come for dragon.
Come for dragon.
We need the smite.
Yep, so Ezreal could, I guess, potentially steal that with his ultimate, but there's no one else in the area for that dragon. We're not even gonna see the ultimate come out of the side of the Ezreal. So sitting right now, a little under 5k gold lead on the side of Players Anonymous, and a 3-tower lead with 4 towers to 1 coming out. Players Anonymous, they're 4 minutes and 20 seconds, nice, away from having Soul, and then at 4.5. Oh wait, no, that was blue buff. 4.5 minutes away from having Soul, and then Baron is up too. They could potentially look to rotate over to the Baron side, put some wards around there, clear vision, and try and force a Baron fight. They do have the big lead. They could probably just take that fight easily and then take Baron and then just push down some more towers. What do you think their next move is going to be?
Well, seeing how far ahead they are right now and how well they're executing these fights, I think Players Anonymous can just force a Baron fight. With how fed their Kai'Sa is, how fed the Yuumi is, they have really no worries as long as their Maokai and their set provide heal. Keep the Nasus, keep the Cassiopeia from dump, because Cassiopeia, while only at 1.5 items, can still dish out a massive amount of damage if she lands that ultimate. So as long as Players Anonymous just keep playing these fights perfectly as they've been doing, this should be an easy win for them if they try to do anything crazy like Baron fights right now.
So one thing to note, as we see a fight coming in the bot side from our top laners, is Cassiopeia does have her fully stacked Seraphs, and Ezreal does have his fully stacked Muramana. So these players that we were talking about need to scale and let their items scale up are starting to do so. But the moment might have passed. Players Anonymous might be too far ahead, and they're gonna start Baron over here. There is no vision on the side of Funky Ducks. We will see a ward pop in. They're gonna try and push them off with some poke. It looks like we're not gonna get the steal. Set will secure it, and he will take down Leona on top of that. Ezreal's gonna put some damage from the outside, but it's not gonna be enough. He's going to take down the Sejuani, try and take out the Yuumi as well, but he's in the middle of a rock and a hard place, and he's gonna die as well. So we do have the side of Players Anonymous taking the Baron, taking 4 with them, and only losing the set in the process. Nasus is still going to be farming bot side. He's going to be taking that Grump. He's currently sitting at 417 stacks.
Considering how the game's been going, that's actually pretty good farming he's been doing.
Yeah, well, that's all he's been doing so far, so I would hope so. But Maokai's going to jump on him, and even with all that farm, Maokai's still going to out-trade him. Don't you love tanks, man?
Max health damage.
Gotta love them tanks.
Now, at this point for Funky Ducks, I would just probably look at what we can do better for next game. I think this is probably a lost cause with how far behind they are, with how I think Players Anonymous is executing these fights so much better with their comp. Probably just look to the next game, think about what we're going to be drafting, what we could do better, what went wrong, how we can fix the mistakes that we've been doing. So maybe bring it to a game 3.
So what you're telling me is all hope is lost. Let's just stall this out and just sit and chat and plan our next operations for game 2. Is that what you're telling me right now?
I mean, at this point, you're down 19-7 kills. Yeah. They almost have Soul. They just got Baron. You've lost every single team fight, save for maybe a couple early fights in the beginning of the game. That is, it's not all hope is lost. Of course, anything can happen. Teams throw all the time. This is a normal thing, but just statistically speaking, this game is probably done and over.
Oh, Kai'Sa almost able to take out the Ezreal with an auto and a Q, but Ezreal does live. Players Anonymous have fully taken over this game. They're trying to get some vision cleared on in the blue side jungle from the Funky Ducks, so they can secure this Dragon Soul that comes up in 25 seconds. They're gonna do so. They're gonna take over that red side or blue side jungle. We do see a ward in the Dragon Pit as well from the Funky Ducks. So when that dragon is started, they will know. Set just gotta run at him, slam down the Nasus. Your Nasus that's been scaling is going to go down from the Yuumi again. And Players Anonymous is just going to run them down. They're gonna take down 3, make that 4. Cassiopeia the only one alive because she's on the other side of the map. And we're probably going to see the bot tower drop and then a soul potentially. But they're like, nah, we'll get that later. We don't need to take the soul right now. Let's just push down this inhibitor. And Kaisa says, who cares? I'm going to kill the Cass. And we're going to see a bot fall. Yes, we have our Leona coming up right now with Sejuani in 2 and Nasus in 2 as well. They're going to zoomies on out of here, go for that Dragon Soul probably. Maokai pushes down the top tower. Never mind.
Probably smart for him. His team just left, going to Dragon. If he stayed, he would have been collapsed on.
We're going to try and take down this Dragon Soul. Ezreal ult is not up yet, so he's not going to be able to steal it. So that's going to be Soul going to the side of Players Anonymous. Bearing up in 1 minute and 50.
The already fast Kaisa Yuumi is now even faster.
Yes, we have 700 gold bounty on the side of Kaisa, 11-1 and 11. Yuumi 5-1 and 18, fully stacked Medjai's, Athene's, and a Mikhail's Crucible. She's going to keep this Kaisa as protected as she possibly can. We have another bounty on the side of the Ziggs, 400 gold, and then Set's got an itty-bitty bounty of himself at 150.
And on the Kaisa for items, we have a Zanya's Hourglass. So even if the Yuumi somehow blows the heal, Mikhail's Crucible is burned, you got the everything could have gone wrong, every possible thing. You still got 2.5 seconds of invulnerability to keep you safe while your Yuumi's E gets off cooldown. So this Kaisa is set for life at this point, unkillable. I don't think there's any situation in the world where this Kaisa is gonna die.
I don't know if she's set for life, but I'll tell you who is set for life. Set. So, best case scenario on the side of Funky Ducks. Yumi's gonna pop out, accidentally heal herself, get hit by some CC, not being able to jump back into the Kaisa, die. Kaisa misclicks her Zonias and clicks on one of her non-active items, and then they are able to kill her. So we might see something like that, I guess, but I don't know, man. This situation keeps getting worse and worse for the Funky Ducks. Oh, he hits his ultimate, but the amount of tenacity from Maokai, he's just able to brush it off and walk away like nothing even happened. Ziggs just ults and kills the Ezreal.
That's depressing to see.
5v4, Kaisa says, I don't care, I'm gonna run in.
Oh, no Yuumi on the Kaisa.
We're going to see a big fight in between the Nexus turrets. We have 4 going down from the side of Funky Ducks. Let's see if all this Nasus stacks can keep him alive, and it doesn't. Double kill coming out from Ziggs, and the Players Anonymous are going to just run down these 2 towers and end the game.
Players Anonymous just showing everybody why they're #1 in the division right now. Absolutely just destroying Funky Ducks in game 1. It wasn't even that close.
Yep. So that is the end of game 1. Let's see if the Funky Ducks can get their groove back going into game 2. Oh man, oh man, oh man.
That's tilting.
That is tilting
that
indeed.
That poor Nasus. Oh,
Poor Nasus.
just gets to sit in the top lane watching as his team slowly falls apart. All he gets to do is like, well, maybe I can farm. Maybe I
Yeah,
can scale. It just gets worse minute
farming
after minute.
Farming Simulator 2020 must be on the Steam summer sale because he got all the farm that he possibly wanted, but he wasn't able to do anything with it.
uh, that's the reason you don't draft Nasus in
I think
competitive games.
it could have worked. There definitely is a potential with Nasus in a competitive environment, but you really got to get yourself to a position where you can let that Nasus scale, but he just wasn't able to really do so because the bot side of Players Anonymous just took over the bot half of the map. Nasus couldn't, like you said, he couldn't just TP and do anything because he just would have died to the Kaisa and the Yumi down there. So he was just trying to do his best to farm up as much as he could, but it didn't matter in the end. So we did see Players Anonymous taking a one-sided victory over the Funky Ducks, and we are going to be heading to game 2. As a reminder, this is a best of 3 series. It is not like your normal seal regular season games. So the Funky Ducks, if they can take a game here, they will send it to game 3. We'll put on the silver scrapes and we'll see who takes that final match and moves on to the second round of playoffs in Ionia. But first, they're going to have to take game 2 here. So what do you think we need to see changed on the side of the Funky Ducks in order to take a game off of Players Anonymous?
I think the Funky Ducks, if they're going to go for something scaling like they tried with the Ezreal, Cassiopeia, and Nasus, they need to slow down their gameplay. They need to stop taking these big risks. They need to just farm it out. I know it's boring. I know it's not something that's enjoyable to do. You don't want to sit in the lane and farm click minions for 20 minutes, but if that's what you're going to want to pick, you have to do that. You have to stick to what your draft was. And what they did is they exposed themselves too much, especially with their jungler, constantly getting caught out, not enough vision going down, just getting picks constantly from the set doing things. You got the Kaisa Yumi just getting kills in Funky Ducks' jungle. Like, at that point, you need to be giving up whatever the Players Anonymous is taking. Hope you can scale. Hope you can beat them in the later game. But who knows?
Yeah, so we are going to be moving on to game 2 here. right, we are back from a little short break. One correction it looks like we need to make here. Players Anonymous, not the top seed, but the 3rd seed. So, oopsie daisy.
Whoops.
They were the top seed in the quarters because the top 2 teams had buys. So, messed us up a little bit, but that's fine. They're playing like a top seed, that's for sure. Playing like the number 1 seed. But
After that game could have fooled me.
yeah. We'll see what kind of changes they make going into game 2. So we talked about the changes that before the break we talked about the changes that the Funky Ducks need to make on their side, but what do you think Players Anonymous needs to do in order to prepare for that? Because Players Anonymous knows Funky Ducks are going to try and do some alterations, and they got to prepare for those a little bit. Do you think they change anything up here?
For Players Anonymous, I don't think they need to change anything. What they had worked for them. If Funky Ducks wants to go around switching lanes, swapping players around, testing out things, let them. Like, you play your style of league and it'll work out. We saw that in game 1. They picked their comp, they stuck to it. They didn't let any role swaps or player alterations change what they wanted to do. They just stuck to their game plan, and they absolutely just wiped the rift with Funky Ducks.
You could say they went duck hunting.
Oh, they did.
All right. We are going to take a look at draft here in a second. So, first looking at bans, it looks like we're going to see pretty much the same bans coming out of the way of the Funky Ducks. That surprises me a little bit. Although, Players Anonymous opting to ban the Yumi themselves. We do know that Funky Ducks did have first pick here, which is probably why they opted to ban that Yumi in the first phase. But it's interesting on the side of the Funky Ducks. They left up the set again. They left up some of those players that had big impacts in the first game.
That they did. Another sweet. Though this time, I think that's a set top. No longer a set jungle.
Yeah, I would assume so. You don't typically see
support in the Zillion mid.
You don't typically see Rek'Sai going anywhere but the jungle, so that set's probably going to be going in a solo lane or potentially to the support role. We're not really sure. I mean, I know because I looked, but we're not really sure from just looking at this right now. On the side of the Funky Ducks, we do have a Trundle, Vel'Koz, Jhin, Maokai, and Zera, so they are opting to bring back the Maokai, probably going top lane again because it did last game. Never mind, that was the other team, but still, Xerath and Vel'Koz, we could see either of those in the mid or support roles. Probably going to end up seeing that Vel'Koz going bot lane, so that's some crazy poke coming out of the Jhin. So Funky Ducks opting to go for a strong poke comp if they can execute it properly, where Players Anonymous are just going to look to run at the Funky Ducks and revive that initial engager. So coming out from the side of Players Anonymous, what are they going to need to do here to try and win this game, knowing that Funky Ducks drafted a hell of a poke comp?
Well, it's a good thing Players Anonymous drafted Zillion, because what is a poke comp going to do if you just run right at them? Once you start a big open team fight like that, because you got the Zillion speed up. Zillion can speed up 2 different teammates. Rek'Sai, Cho'Gath set. Of course, you probably don't want to really speed up the Ezreal because the Ezreal doesn't really want to front line, especially into a Xerath Vel'Koz. But you got the set.
Ezreal.
That's true. But you got. Hopefully the Cho'Gath does go tank, because if the Cho'Gath opts to go AP this game, I know some people build like a hybrid, like they'll go the Spooky Ghost or GLP. They'll do that, and it's a much squishier Cho'Gath build, and I don't think that'll work well into champions like Xerath and Vel'Koz that vastly outrange Cho'Gath. You're probably going to want to build some nice beefy magic resist and armor, be the front line, because set is a little squishy with more of a bruiser, same with Rek'Sai. So you want to make sure your Cho'Gath's nice and beefy, because if you build AP, sure, you can slow them down with the Spooky Ghost and the GLP, but that'll just leave him so exposed if he ever gets caught out from, like, say, a Maokai ult or a Trundle pillar, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to transition over to our game here, and we're going to see how these lanes played out and where these champs are going to go. All right, long time no see. We are going to end up seeing. So we had some questions about where these champs are going to end up going on both sides a little bit. So it looks like we're going to see that Cho'Gath in the mid lane, and then the set up top with the Zillion at support. And then on the side of the Funky Ducks, on our blue side, we're going to see the Zillion, or not Zillion, the Vel'Koz coming into the support with that Xerath in the mid lane.
It looks like the Zillion's already burned his flash. Not sure what happened there, but that's very big summoner spell, especially in a lane with
How the hell did I miss that?
I don't know if his whole team's pinging it right now.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was a mistake or what, but yeah, his team is spam pinging his flash. Seth's deciding to do some push-ups as the side of Players Anonymous fans out a bit to avoid some invades. They do get a couple of wards over there onto the blue side just to see where they are going to be starting. We'll see if Budwolf is going to try and invade like he did last game.
Oh, just a typical clear going on from the Trundle. Rek'Sai starting red. Both junglers starting red. Rek'Sai probably going to look for an early bot gank due to their lots of immobility, I should say. Xerath, Jhin, very stationary, no dashes. Rek'Sai has the tunnel. Very easy to get under them, but it looks like Trundle is actually invading the Rek'Sai blue. Might have a little skirmish going on there. Well, Trundle just leaves.
Yep, he spots the Rek'Sai, he decides, I'm not going to take that fight, and he jumps out. So, something I would like to see, we do have an early gank over from the Trundle on the side of Funky Ducks. Not going to do much, just going to bite him and walk out. Something I would like to see, we talked about it before the game started, is I would like to see Zillion max that E-second, just because you do want those bursts of speed coming out on your side, knowing that the Funky Ducks does have a poke comp drafted out.
Yep, and it appears the Cho'Gath will be doing the Glacial Augment Twin Shadows GLP build. I'm not sure if that's going to end up working out for them, but Rek'Sai flashing.
We flash on the Rek'Sai, going for an early. He's going to take the ignite, take a bomb, and he's going to give first blood to the Funky Ducks.
A little overzealous for the Rek'Sai there, but
yeah.
A little engagement in the top.
Looks like I misspoke earlier. Vel'Koz is in the mid lane. We do see a flash from just flash. Am I blind? Set. There we go. Camera transition. I lost what happened. My brain skipped a beat, and here we are. So Xerath does have the double buffs, which is going to be great, especially at level 3. He's going to be able to spam those abilities.
Another gank.
Another gank from the Rek'Sai, yes. He's going to chase. He's going to chase down the Vel'Koz a little bit, and he's going to walk out. Feel a little bad for the bot lane now on the side of Players Anonymous. They probably feel like they're playing Earth a little bit, dodging all these skill shots. Good poke coming out from the Vel'Koz. Not able to take a kill, but he's able to take out a bunch of health from that. Ooh, a heal coming from the Ezreal. Rek'Sai ganking again. Heal on the Jhin. We see a bomb land on top of Jin's head, but he's not going to die. We see a flash.
Ezreal flash.
Yep. Rek'Sai able to knock it out. Oh, that was so close. Rek'Sai dying after a gank again for the second time.
Oh, wow. This is a different Funky Ducks than last game.
Completely different Funky Dunks than we saw. It probably has something to do with those failed ganks on the side of Players Anonymous, giving them those 2 kills earlier on. Especially on that Xerath, we're going to see a gank coming from the mid lane and a TP, double TPs from both top laners.
Oh my.
Maokai jumping onto the Zillion, he's going to go down. They're going to jump onto the Set. Set's going to fight back. A little bit of extra poke coming from the Xerath, but nothing much else comes out of that. Rek'Sai coming back into the mid lane.
Once again,
Vel'Koz has just enough mana to use 2 abilities and get out, but yeah, that's all we're going to see come out of that.
Holy moly, is this game fiesta so far?
It has been a bit of a fiesta. We see a 2k gold lead on the side of Funky Ducks right now, 3-0s and kills. If you are Players Anonymous, you're only down by 2k. I mean, it's still early. They could potentially go for that drag as they're pinging right now. They do have Prio. They have 2 pinks in the river. Cho'Gath's going to rotate down a little bit, so it looks like they probably will pick up that early Drake. It's Cloud Drake, so it's kind of crucial, especially on their side, having that Zillion. You want that Zillion's ultimate to be up as much as possible. When that Zillion gets to level 16, that cooldown drops to like 40 seconds or something crazy low like that. So having that extra 10% just makes it ridiculous.
What I want to see out of this Rek'Sai right now is just, he needs to slow down the game pace. This guy has ganked like 4 times in 5 minutes, and he needs to just slow it down, farm a bit, because right now all of his ganks haven't really worked out. He's going a million miles an hour. His team isn't coordinated for these ganks. He keeps going. He's going in way too deep. Like he needs to.
Vel'Koz using his abilities and ulting onto the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath has to flash out. He does get away safely, but he does burn that flash. We see some poke coming out from the bot lane. Yeah, like you're saying, Rek'Sai is. I mean, Rek'Sai in and of itself, the champion, is an early gank champion. So he is doing what his champion calls for. He just wasn't able to execute the ganks and get the kills that they were hoping for, and falling twice in the process. So if you are... Oh, Zillion not being able to move, flashes out from the damage and survives. He's going to have to back. Jhin is searching for him, but Zillion is out of the range of his ultimate.
Oh, wait.
Got some poke coming down. The Rek'Sai is just trying to farm. You said, well, go farm, Rek'Sai. They're like, okay, we hear you. We're going to stop doing that too.
Ooh, oh, Cho'Gath feast.
Yes, Nom Nom Nibble in the mid lane. He's going to take him down.
That was
Rek'Sai still level 5.
There you go, Rek'Sai. That was smart. Rek'Sai backing off right there. I thought he would keep going like he's been doing in the past, but he's probably learned after dying twice that just take the win we got, take the free kill, let's get out of here.
He needs to get back in the game a little bit after taking down those 2 deaths earlier. We have a little skirmish up in the top lane. Says get over here, and he's going to keep the fight going, but Maokai just too tanky.
Oh.
We have another fight in the mid lane. This just fight-a-palooza. Throw him on Fight Island. Rek'Sai's back. Top lane going for another gank. I'm not sure about this one though. He gets spotted out by the plant, but I don't know about a dive on the Maokai in the first place.
Especially one with an ultimate up.
Yeah, especially one with an ultimate up. Yeah, they're gonna opt to go for the Rift Herald. Now, Funky Ducks do know what's going on because they did have that Scuttle Crab vision. They're gonna try and come and do something.
Cho'Gath ult is up.
Trundle is only level 5. He does not have his ultimate. We see an ult coming from the Ezreal. It snipes a couple. Set takes a kill onto the Trundle. Vel'Koz says, see you later.
That
Oh,
damage.
and the Q takes from Maokai takes out both the Cho'Gath and the Rek'Sai double kill.
What looked like a certain win for Players Anonymous just gets absolutely backfired on them when the Vel'Koz shows up.
Yep, Funky Ducks do take some kills over there. Oh man, oh man.
Maokai going in. Ooh.
That's some true damage if I've ever seen it, but Maokai is going to heal up. He does have double buffs as well. He's going to be a tough fight there for the set if he's going to try and take it on.
The Maokai might actually have enough to dive him.
He could potentially, especially if he gets another heal off.
I don't know. He's gonna opt to back off.
Yep, he's gonna take the bag, come back with more items.
Now we got a little bit of river vision for another fight. Oh, lots of fights happening.
Yes. So we do see a fight coming from the bot lane. Zilean ults himself. That ult will be down. Earlier on, this is a longer cooldown, so he's not going to use that later. He's dodged, duck diving and dodging, but he does go down. Yep, they are back. Xerath, low mana, not able to put out that artillery support. He's going to take the heal and he's going to end up living. We see 3 fall from the side of Players Anonymous. Funky Ducks taking over this game pretty quickly with a 4K gold advantage. They're going to try and push down the remaining plates on the bot side and take that first tower, but Zilean says, I'm going to throw some bombs and try and keep that alive, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Sarah barely surviving an Ezreal ult right there. Oh, wow.
Squeaks out. So the sniper is going to snipe that pink ward, try and take out some vision. Ezreal's going to get a little bit of poke, but they're going to try and take that Fire Drake. There is no vision on it from the side of Players Anonymous. Until now, they got a TP coming in from set. Vel'Koz erases Zilean off the map, but Toronto goes down as well, and there goes Vel'Koz from the set. The Infernal Drake goes over to the side of Players Anonymous.
Now, you might be down 3K, 3.5K gold on Players Anonymous, but you have to look at the dragons. They have 2 dragons right now. I believe that was Earth Soul that's coming up next. Or Earth Dragons are now. So you got the Earth Soul. You're already 2 there. They have Rift Herald. They just procced in the mid lane. So you might be down a lot of gold, might be down in kills, but you could possibly still come back through win conditions, such as the neutral objectives like dragons.
Oh, Rek'Sai is going to try and do a little bit of a dive on the Maokai, and he takes a tower shot for it, and he almost dies with it. We did see the Rift Herald popped in mid lane. It took a couple of plates. Give some extra gold on the side of Players Anonymous. They're down right now by about 3K gold. No towers taken across the map yet, but we still do have plates up, so that's not that uncommon. Our artillery champions on the side of Funky Ducks are getting stronger. Vel'Koz with 2 kills and Xerath with 2 kills by themselves, and Jhin is able to finish his Infinity Edge too. So we're getting some items over there on the side of Funky Ducks.
Now, Cho'Gath did finish the GLP, so he does have access to the slow, the nice slow icicles. He can proc his what's the rune called?
You can do it.
The frost one. You know what I'm talking about.
You can do
it's
it.
a nice slow line, so that is perfect. If he can land those. Like that, just like that, as we see. And that
he's gonna dive, he's gonna try and eat him, but he will fall with it. Not sure if that's worth it, but we will see the first tower going down on the side of Funky Ducks. Maybe, there it goes.
Ooh.
And he gets deleted. So we see first tower going down and Xerath getting his 3rd kill of the game onto the Ezreal. Zilean did have his ultimate up, but did not use it. I'm not sure if he expected that much damage coming out on the side of the Xerath Jhin.
It is a Dark Harvest Jhin, so it's a little extra burst damage right there.
Set's gonna try and do something, but it's just not hurting that Maokai at all.
Now, Set is building Blade of the Ruined King, which is some can consider a more standard Set build now, but that does make you super extra squishy. So if they plan on doing a lot of team fights, that's probably not best for the Set group. Blade the Rune King's more of a split push item. You're gonna be 1v1ing your laner a lot. But oh, another fight happening.
Rek'Sai's going to try and do something, but just gets erased.
And you can see how squishy
Set's
that
going to
is.
try and give him the DDT, but he dies on the way. 2 coming down from the side of Players Anonymous, and we just kind of have a flipped game from our last game. Blue side OP, I guess.
Blue side diff.
Blue side diff.
I guess it's just, I don't know. This team looks completely different now. I mean, Players Anonymous was so confident in game 1. They just took what they wanted. They did what they want. Now it's just the exact opposite. We got Funky Ducks going where they please, doing what they please. Other than they losing dragons, but that's Cho'Gath has the 1000 damage true damage to like smite. So there's not much you can really do to contest that.
Yeah, you'll have that. So if you're looking on the side of Players Anonymous being behind, hold on, Rek'Sai going for another engage, but he is so squishy.
This Rek'Sai.
He is so squishy. He keeps going for these engages, but he keeps getting blown up in the process. Cho'Gath going to interrupt the ultimate from Jhin. He's going to try and take one out, but he's going to die in the process instead. So back to what I was saying before we saw that fight in the mid lane. If you are Players Anonymous, what are you going to have to do to get yourself into a position where you can try and turn this game around?
It's gonna be tough. The Rek'Sai is no longer. I don't think the Rek'Sai can be much really useful other than flash knocking up targets such as Vel'Koz or Jhin or Xerath because of how far behind Rek'Sai is. I mean, super squishy, basically blows up in instants. You got Set is building split push, you know, damage, wants to build to make sure you can beat the Maokai in a 1v1 if they're in side lanes. But right now it just looks like Funky Ducks just wants the 5-man group. They've been constantly team fighting, so I'm not sure if this Blade the Ruin King set was a good idea.
Yeah, this Rek'Sai only has 1,061 health right now, and the only resistances he has on top of that is 25 magic resist from the Mertreads. He's a squishy boy.
That was
he's got less health than the Ezreal.
Oof. That was only 3. All 3 of those Xerath ult shots connected and hit the Rek'Sai. That brought him to about 1/4 HP.
Yeah.
So once the Xerath hits level 11, if he can get all 4, that Rek'Sai will probably die. Which is that just really shows how far behind this Rek'Sai is. He can get solo killed by their mage poke artillery support.
He does have 5 kills.
I mean, yeah, he is a little fed, but he did contribute in the early game.
And he's gonna just take out the Zilean. Zilean dies with his ultimate again.
This is just so sad to watch. There's just nothing they can do.
We see a fight coming in the top lane a little bit. No, Maokai's gonna take down the top tower. Yeah, I think the Zilean is just underestimating the damage that's coming out. He's dying with his ultimate over and over and over.
This is the poke from the Vel'Koz and the Xerath.
Yeah.
It's just way too much for him to keep up with.
You don't even call the Xerath the support anymore. He's got 6 kills. He's got a Luden's Echo.
Oh my.
And Rek'Sai going down again. Jhin with a double kill on top of the Ezreal. We're gonna see double bombs coming from the Zilean, but they land on top of Set. That's gonna take down the Jhin. They did get a kill. They got a little bit of gold coming back on their side.
Though the shutdown didn't apply to Jhin until after his death, so they did not get the 150
He
extra
did
gold.
not get that. Zilean's gonna almost go. He's gonna die from 3 abilities. Set's gonna try and fight. He takes down the Vel'Koz. Look at a 150 gold shutdown. Maokai's saying, "I've had enough of this." He's gonna run in. He's gonna take down the Cho'Gath. He's just gonna run at the Set. No mana, just gonna auto attack him to death. Give him the branches.
Oh, the
snipe coming out from Ezreal.
Nice 1,000 gold payday right there.
Yep, Maokai's not gonna be able to branch the Set to death. But Rek'Sai is saying, you know what? Let's try and take this Rift Herald. We need something. Pingzai's on his way over there. I think he's gonna start it. Yeah, he's gonna start this Rift Herald. Rift Herald's only alive for a few more seconds, so he's gonna have to take it quickly. Baron spawns in 18.
Now we do have Mountain Soul, well, Mountain Point, or Soul Point,
Yeah.
coming up in
Yes.
about 220. So this is something that Funky Ducks can't. I mean, at this point, with how far ahead they are, I would actually. Now this might be a little crazy, but oh,
Well, hold your crazy, because Vel'Koz is going to die. He's getting nom nibbled from the Cho'Gath again. Cho'Gath is becoming a beefy boy, but it doesn't matter because Zilean's gonna die with his ultimate again. So either this is a spectator bug, or that ultimate keeps staying up from the side of Zilean, but he just keeps going down from this poke because he's so squishy.
now
Xerath coming out with the ultimate.
Gentle.
We have American Sniper coming out. He's not going to take anybody down, I don't
Rek'Sai.
think. No, but they are going to push down the Smith
low.
Tower a little bit. You see the giant dinosaur coming down the mid lane, but he's just getting destroyed. Ezreal's going to throw out the ultimate. It's not going to do much. Trundle's going to take down the set with the help of his teammates. And we see more poke coming down from the Xerath. I don't want to take a look at these damage charts because I think they'll scare me.
Oh,
He's going to get the shutdown. That's much needed on the side of the Rek'Sai, but it's going to get 2 kills over to the Jhin on top of that. 2 people alive right now on the side of Players Anonymous, being Cho'Gath and the Zilean.
Breathe in the
right, now
But
that
Funky
things
Ducks
are
are going to hold off for these minions. They do have the Mountain Drake coming up in 36 seconds, which is going to be kind of crucial from the side of Funky Ducks because they're going to want to try and prevent that soul from going to Players Anonymous.
That's exactly what my point was going to be. For Funky Ducks. Now, like I said, this might be a little crazy, but with how far ahead they are, they could possibly give up the Elder Dragon, or not the Elder Dragon, the Mountain Dragon. Let them get Soul so Elder can spawn. Then
Okay.
they would contest the Elder, most likely win with how much poke they have. Now, I know a lot of people don't like giving up Soul because it's very important, you know, it gives the team a permanent buff to last all game.
True.
But you can see how far, I mean, they are almost 10k gold. They're like 8k gold above Players Anonymous.
Yes.
They are they are massively ahead. Their team is just like this Rek'Sai is constantly getting poked horribly.
Maokai's gonna do the engage. We're gonna see a fight coming in with the Dragon. Zed's going to jump on top of all of them. He's gonna get a triple. He's got the Zilean ult on top of them. Zilean found his R button, threw it on his set. It doesn't pop though. Double bombs coming in from the Zilean. He's gonna get jumped on from the Maokai.
Yeah, they don't have a choice now. They
We
have to give
have
up
the
their
soul coming in. This is where you need to turn the tide from Players Anonymous, and they get the ace and the soul. That is absolutely huge. Only losing one in the process, being their Cho'Gath from the mid lane. They're gonna try and push down this top tower with the momentum that they have. Probably gonna turn around, not gonna push that any further. I'd be getting a little bit greedy. I'd like to see some vision getting put down onto the Baron. Only one peak word right now from the side of Players Anonymous being on that Zilean. Rek'Sai's gonna clear a little bit of vision, and they're going to get out back most likely and try and spend some of that gold they got. But they're gonna need to get back. They're gonna need to get set up for this Baron because Funky Ducks are in the area. They're gonna start setting up vision.
Oh,
Cho'Gath
onto
says,
the Jhin.
"Come here, I want to eat you," but they said no, 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 and
No Namis today.
Cho'Gath's gonna go down instead in the mid lane, so that will give them a numbers advantage over the Funky Ducks. Set's going to ult onto the Maokai, jumping on top. We're gonna see a fight in the top river. Trundle's gonna go down. Zilean ults the Rek'Sai. He found it, everybody.
found the R button.
He found the R button.
Oh.
Oh, we're gonna see some stuff.
Oh, Ezreal.
Ezreal says, I'm not dying, you can die. He gets out of the way, and then the snipe comes
double
onto the
TP coming in.
Rek'Sai. We see one, we see two, they miss the Vel'Koz E. They're gonna turn that fight back around. They're gonna say, never mind, we made a mistake. Let's get out.
Oh.
Double bombs from the Zillion. Ezra's gonna try and do some damage, but isn't gonna be able to do enough. Zillion with the flash, snipe with the GLP active.
Oh, that's one way to
was
get
it?
a
Was
kill.
it?
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
yeah, yeah. Oh, man.
And he's just gonna die.
He's dead.
Bye bye, Dad.
That was about 2.5 minutes of just straight fighting.
Yep.
Multiple
So,
TPs burned.
yeah. The Fiesta fathers aren't in this game, but Dr. Dad said let's have a Fiesta anyways. Funky Ducks are saying let's take that momentum, push down this mid tower and try and get this mid inhibitor with it. They're gonna try and do their best. They do have a bit of a disadvantage in the numbers. He's gonna take down the Vel'Koz. A snipe coming from the Ezreal, but it doesn't take him down. Maokai, no mana. He's just gonna stand there and do as much as he can, but it's not gonna be a lot. Cho'Gath's gonna try and run down the Trundle, but Trundle's got some backup here. But Cho'Gath says, "You and what army?" And he's bringing 3 more with him.
Ooh.
Oh, he dies to the
dies
minions.
to the minions. So sad to see.
Yep.
Now, Players Anonymous is actually making quite a comeback here. Now
Yeah.
only down, despite only down 6k gold, all these fights have been super, super close. Both sides barely making it out, if they do.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years. They've got that mountain soul that's really helping them out. It's gonna try and keep them alive for these extended fights. Players Anonymous definitely benefits a little bit from these extended fights. It's not a whole lot of burst coming out, but the burst is more so on the side of the Funky Ducks, especially with that Xerath. That Xerath is super strong, and Jin's starting to catch up with the gold as well. Jin, 3 items and a BF sword. The damage output from the Funky Ducks is absolutely monstrous, but they just got to make sure they don't get caught out by some of the CC engaged from Players Anonymous. So we're going to see some vision coming out from the red side. They have 3 wards around Baron, only 1 ward from the side of the Funky Ducks. They're going to decide to clear some vision instead.
Now, I just want to take a minute to look at items real quick. That's okay.
Go for it. I'll shut up.
On the side of Funky Ducks, we have Xerath and Vel'Koz, both with Liandry's Torment, which I think, yes, they're good items due to the amount of CC they have. Does more burn damage if they're, rooted or stunned or knocked up or slowed. But with how far ahead the Xerath was, I probably would have been safe for him to invest in something like a Death Cap. Just straight up kill whatever he's fighting. Like, yes, the added health in the burn.
We have a massive fight coming from the mid lane. Vel'Koz is going to throw out his ult, but Players Anonymous is going to say, I don't care. Let's run at him, boys. Double stun coming from the Zillion, but we see 3 going down from Players Anonymous. Make that 4 and make that 5.
That's definitely the game.
That's probably going to be the game for Funky Ducks. That was that fight came out of nowhere.
Players Anonymous, at least they stuck to their comp. They ran in, they did their best. They didn't try to do some shenanigans, 1-2-1 scaling. Maybe they stuck to and that I give them props for that. Sure, they lost the game. Now we're going into game 3, but they stuck to what they were supposed to do. They were a 5-man team fight group. They run in, hope for the best. Just didn't happen to work out this game.
Yeah, it did not work out at all. We started to see them turn that game around. Players Anonymous, I think if they gave themselves a little bit more time to pick up some items to catch up with
the Funky Ducks, they probably could have taken that game out, maybe gone for that Elder fight, try and take the Elder Drake with the Mountain Drake that they already had. They probably could have swung that game, but a bad fight there at the end on their side of the map just meant the Funky Ducks were able to just push down the short amount they had left and just take the game away. So we are currently 1-1. A reminder, this is a best of 3, so we will throw on the silver scrapes and go to game 3 here to see who's going to move on out of the quarterfinals and face a team that I'm not exactly sure who they play next, but we'll look that up here in a second while we're on break. So give us a couple minutes and we'll be back with game 3 of Players Anonymous versus the Funky Ducks. Alrighty. We are back. Better than ever. Not saying we were worse before, but we are going to be going to game 3 of Players Anonymous versus the Funky Ducks for the Ionia quarterfinals.
Game 3.
Game 3. Yes, not game 5. Game 3. Get excited. So, knowing what's happened these these past 2 games, very one-sided games. I think we could probably both agree, at least for the most part. Second game, we started to see it turn around for Players Anonymous. What are you looking for both teams, knowing this is make or break for your season?
Honestly, it's quite hard.
Let's
'Cause
start.
when you
Well, let's make it easier on you. Let's start with Players Anonymous. What are you looking for this last game here?
Well, in the first game, it worked really well for them when their bot lane got ahead. They had a more pokey, supportive mage mid lane with the Ziggs. They had the Kai'Sa Yumi, the ultra hard carry in the bot lane. They had like a set. Was it the set jungle? I believe.
Correct.
They had a set in the Maokai, which were both tanky. So they had the front line, they had the support poke, and then they had the hyper carry, and that seemed to work. A traditional, like a more or less traditional style team fight, League of Legends comp. And then you look at the size, Funky Ducks, and you saw they had this hard poke comp, Vel'Koz, Xerath, Jhin. They had all that stuff. They had so much poke damage coming in. Like, Players Anonymous couldn't even get their comp off because by the time they even got close, they were dead. So it's like 2 different styles of game, but both of them worked very, very well. So I kind of want to see both of them maybe try out those kinds of styles for this game, but it appears it might not happen. Looking at the draft.
Yeah, so we did get a little bit of sneak peek of the draft here, so we're gonna transition to the draft for you and talk about that. And as that's transitioning, what about the Funky Ducks? So knowing what worked out for them, what do you think they got to do here to take game 3?
Well, suffocating the bot lane worked in the game 2, so I think they should probably try doing that again.
Okay.
Just absolutely whatever, because you saw the Rex. Like, I guess it was more the jungler having some failed ganks that set the bot lane behind, but if they could probably put their jungler, the Funky Ducks jungler, more attention to the bot side and setting them behind, might lead into a more easier mid game for them, which allows them more freedom and to do whatever they want like they did last game.
Yeah, so one thing to note here, we do see a bit of a mix-up when it comes to the bans. Game 2, we saw mostly the same bans from both teams, minus a couple changes here or there from Game 1. But Game 3, we see the Set and Rek'Sai ended up being banned out from the Funky Ducks. And then it's your boy, it's the Volley Bear coming from Players Anonymous.
The Volibear.
Yeah. So looking at these teams, the Maokai in the top lane, the Volibear in the jungle, Diana mid, and then Kai'Sa Lulu in the bot lane from Players Anonymous. Players Anonymous saying Kai'Sa worked out before, let's do it again. We can't use Yumi, let's use the next best thing being a Lulu. And then the Funky Ducks, there's that Teemo. We know all about the Teemo. That Teemo ran over us when we played against it. They decided the Nasus, let's bring it back. And then Jarvan in the jungle, Teemo in the mid lane, and Zyra and Jinx in the bot lane. Looking at both of these teams, where do you think these strengths and weaknesses lie?
Well, first thing that pops out to me is that they did not ban Reaper's Diana, which is his most played champion ranked, probably his most comfortable champion currently at the moment. So that was probably a big oversight for them, but banning the Kayn and the Echo probably, and the Yumi, were probably more on the higher tier priority list, which makes sense, but still. Very powerful champion in the mid lane. Easily can one-shot most of the people on their team. The only ones safe for Nasus and Jarvan are the only ones safe from Diana's one-shot. You got Maokai, big strong tank. Volibear, big strong tank. Ultimate, easy tower dives. Probably going to lead that to the mid lane. Volibear, Diana diving whoever happens to be mid. I'm guessing it's going to be either probably Teemo.
Yeah. So
we're
going to transition over to the game here and talk a little bit more about these team comps and how we think they will play out. But in the meantime, let's see this transition. Yeah, poor Teemo. Alrighty, we are back in it, right back at it again. So one thing to point out, the side of Players Anonymous over on the blue side, the left side of your screen, that is what you call a dive comp. If you open dive comp in the dictionary, you're gonna see a picture of this. They're gonna be looking to just go wherever the hell they please. But if you look at the opposite side, the side of Funky Ducks, they don't really have much to stop that dive comp. There's not a lot of CC coming out here. You have a little bit of CC coming from the Jarvan being the knockup, and you have a little bit of CC coming from the Zyra, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot. What do you think the Funky Ducks are going to need to do? Because if I'm the Funky Ducks and I'm looking at the opposing team's team comp right now, I'm going, they're going to be under my tower and I'm not going to be able to do much about it. So what am I going to do to try and prevent that?
First thing they should probably try is Jarvan needs to go bot early. Lulu's polymorph has less of a range than Jarvan's EQ, so probably what will happen is that if they do a gank, Jarvan will get polymorphed mid EQ, but he'll still knock up either the Kai'Sa or the Lulu. Now, if a Zyra can like get a root down after that happens, that should probably lead to a guaranteed kill, which is exactly what Funky Ducks need. They need early kills, or else they're probably gonna just get ran over by the Volibear and the Diana in the mid game, considering how squishy their team is. I don't think you can do much for the top lane, and once again, it's going to just be Nasus is going to... Oh. All right.
Yeah. We see an early flash coming out of the Diana trying to escape that knockup from the Jarvan.
That was actually very good.
I think if you're on the side of the Funky Ducks, you're looking at, let's try and get this Jinx ahead a bit. Maokai is saying, I got my level 2 power spike. Watch out, Lucian. I'm going to jump on this Nasus. Takes a bunch of health off of the Nasus. Pushes him back a bit. But we see some more trading and fighting coming from the mid lane. And of course, Maokai is healing it all back up because that's just the nature of the tree.
Oh, a little fight down bot lane.
Yep. So, if the Funky Ducks can get this Jinx ahead, and the Zyra decides to stick on there, this Jinx could just tear apart this game. And they won't have to worry as much about those dives. Jarvan's listening to the cast right now. He's gonna decide to come in. But he's gonna die in the process. This jungler likes to die whenever he ganks, doesn't he?
That is... I think it's just red side.
It's just red side.
It's just the side. Whatever side. So it's like junglers on the. It's just, they just die on the other side.
Red side junglers, man. Maokai's going to try and do a little bit more damage here. He's probably not going to kill him, but Timo says, bring on the bear, and he does, and he's going to pick up that kill onto the Volibear.
A little bit of mispositioning from the Volibear there. His laner was pushed up under turn. He was looking for what looked like an invade on the Jarvan's jungle.
Yeah, Volibear goes where he pleases. We do have double buffs onto the Kai'Sa as well. Something I just now noticed. This is going to be huge, especially with Zyra being as low in mana as she is. Using that Q is the only ability she's able to use right now.
Like this Kai'Sa just gets both game 1 and right now just been gifted so many free kills. Just off of small mistakes and fights that probably shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, well,
early
I don't think Players Anonymous is complaining that much about that.
Oh, definitely not. Oh, little. Oh, Jarvan.
Yep. We're gonna see a gank from the Jarvan, and Jarvan's gonna flash as well. He's gonna take the kill on for the Maokai.
That was 3 sums burned in the top lane.
there
for the
was.
Jarvan and the Nasus, so Funky
We also
Ducks
see
losing out.
the triple bead start from the Nasus again, going for that sustain.
You know, I was actually thinking about that. Makes more sense now. Because I was watching the level 1 with the Maokai and the Nasus interact. I just realized how much damage that Maokai does.
Mm-hmm.
I personally haven't played against Maokai a lot lately because the champ's not as popular, but I forget how much damage some tanks can do. Orange should be a lesson.
Ornn is the lesson indeed. Now, Teemo does have blue buff on top of him. While you're talking there, Volibear did secure the Infernal Drake for Players Anonymous.
Players Anonymous has very good neutral objective control. I've noticed that over these 3 games. Even when they are so behind.
You mean getting a Mountain Soul when you're like 10k behind is
that's my
good
point.
neutral objective control?
Somehow, despite being so far behind, they always were at... Oh, a little fight top. Jarvan
Yeah, we
with
do have
that
a fight.
EQ.
Now, Maokai's the only one with his ultimate here.
I think Jarvan... Oh, my. Teemo getting dove, but... I think Jarvan might have thought the Nasus was the enemy because he just EQ'd right on top of him right there. But yeah, back to the Dragons. Like, even when they were 10k gold behind in the last game, they still managed to like group at the right moment. Always right when the Dragons spawned, they'd be there, and they just get those objectives. And I don't think Funky Ducks is... They don't really have much... I guess now they do, after the Dragon was taken. That's too little, too late vision control in the river.
Jarvan's got to sneak around. He's got to get spotted by a pink ward. But Nasus gonna throw in the Ignite, stop that healing. Maokai's gonna try and keep running away. Can he get out? Oh my gosh, it's close. But he gets stopped by the Nasus Q. Plus 12, give it to him. He's starting to stack up.
I'm actually liking this. The Jarvan is just constantly ganking. That's really all he can do in this situation, because I look at the Players Anonymous comp, I just see they're much better. They need to win this game early, or else they're probably not going to win it at all. So this Jarvan spam ganking is probably the best thing they can do for them right now. And you got the likes of Teemo, Nasus, and I don't know, Jarvan. It's like, sure, you got the Jarvan, the Jinx, and the Zyra. Those are all good team fighters, but you look at Teemo, and that Nasus is a little iffy on team fights. Teemo is definitely not something you want to take into a team fight. Much more of a, I'm going to put traps everywhere and just slowly piss all of you off. And
oh, Players Anonymous coming in for a gank. Teemo's going to go down to the Diana and Volibear.
Just like I said in pregame,
Reaper's gonna get his first kill onto the Diana.
Oh?
We have a 1v1 in the top lane, but they are going to be met by their compadres. Diana coming onto the Jarvan. She's gonna take him out, plus 300 for her.
She did have to burn the flash to get there in time, though, so that is another summoner spell that won't be up for a while, but I think that was well worth it, because now they have uncontested control of the Rift Herald, another free objective, one that could get them a lot of gold. They're going to take down
that Rift Herald. Diana gonna get hit by a mushroom.
It's annoying little things. I expect to see lots of vision control, lots of control wards and sweepers coming out of Players Anonymous this game. Because even if Teemo gets behind, still, those shrooms can chunk ADCs, mid laners, half their HP. It's just something you don't want to worry about.
And Players Anonymous doesn't have any healing on their side for that Kai'Sa if she gets chunked down by some of those shrooms. Unless Lulu decides to build in the Fiends, but looks like she's working.
That looks like Ardent?
Yeah, probably. That would be a good guess. Most likely. Try and get that Kai'Sa more ahead. Jinx is stepping up.
Way too far.
Yeah. Way too far ahead. She's gonna go down. Volibear's gonna jump onto the Zyra. Zyra's gonna take one with her, but she doesn't. That's gonna be a 2 for nothing for the side of Players Anonymous.
The Volibear, Kaisa, and Lulu, all of them just burned all their summoner spells right there. And oof, that feels bad.
Yeah, he's deciding he's gonna use his Q to try and do some more damage onto the Gromp instead of using it to flag and drag out of there, and it's gonna burn his flash. We're gonna see some plates drop on the bot tower for Players Anonymous. Jarvan's gonna continue to clear his jungle, and then we're probably gonna see some dragons coming down again for the side of Players Anonymous. It's again talking about that objective control. Immediately onto the Drake, trying to take that down. Trying to get. We have Nasus TP coming in. We're probably gonna see a fight. Volibear's stuck in the dragon pit, nowhere to go.
That was just TP diff right there. Maokai had burned it previously, trying to get back to lane, and wasn't there for the fight, and the rest of Players Anonymous just had to back out. They couldn't fight a 4v5.
Maokai says, let's bring on the fight, but they get slowed by a shroom, but he jumps onto him anyways. Nasus is going to do his best to fight back. Jarvan jumping up. We see two coming down on the side of Fucky Ducks. They're going to continue the fight. Jinx is trying to get as many kills as she can here.
Oh!
She gets one. Zyra taking a couple of tower shots, and that ends up being a 3-for-3. Volibear is back and better than ever. He's gonna take down the Zyra and get that shutdown goal, plus 150.
Oh.
And
Dr. Dad was taken down by the the Zyra.
Lulu dies to the Zyra plants.
That is.
Volibear says, bring it.
Jinx a little out of position.
Gonna
MIA
try
pin
and fight
going
back,
down.
but she's gonna die. Yep.
Lulu.
So a fiesta again. Oh
Fight
man.
after fight. Holy moly. We're
Fight
only
after fight after
12
fight.
minutes in the game and there's 18 deaths. Quite crazy. Now there's only, I spot 2 control wards down the map right now. A little bit of stealth wards going in. Looks like the entire top side of the map is basically dark. No one's put any vision up there, but nothing's gonna be up there for a couple minutes, so.
Diana looks like she's gonna try and do a bit of her own, changes her
Oh,
mind,
no.
goes back to farm.
Oh.
Maokai's gonna slowly go out. Nasus says, I don't give a funky duck, I'm gonna take this pink ward, and he's gonna just skedaddle out of there. Uh-oh, we got a fight again.
Now. Oh.
Another fight! Volibear slam dunk onto the Nasus, make it a double kill.
Bear diff.
Bear diff indeed.
That ultimate, Jarvan trapping them inside, couldn't evade the giant slam circle. Massive damage. I think it was around like 250 base damage. That is huge. Especially when you're Jarvan, you're building warrior enchantment. Not a lot of health there.
Yeah, the Bears gotta have a ton of gold to back with too. 5-2 and 1 right now. He's stealing the opposing red buff. It's gonna be a scary bear.
Oh yeah. We got Players Anonymous 3K up in gold right now. Looking good for them. You got the Kaisa scaling. Diana 4-1.
They're gonna try and bust down some more
scared.
place in this top lane. Timo's gonna roam up. I don't think we're gonna see another fight break out, but you know what? It wouldn't frickin' surprise me at this point.
If I were this team right now, I'd be scared to walk back into lane.
Uh-oh.
Fight in the bot lane
Never
and the top
mind.
lane.
They're going hunting for the bear. They're gonna take him
Bear.
down.
Did not have ult up at
Maokai's
that
gonna
moment.
try and just throw some twigs at the Nasus, but Nasus says, nah man, I got 2 healing beads, I'm fine. Uh-oh, healing reduction from the Nasus. Or from the Maokai. Maokai slams him with the Q. Is he gonna take him out? Nope, he's gonna survive. And we have 1-for-2 up in the top lane. Extending this lead a little bit from the side of Players Anonymous. Zyra with the flash in, but doesn't take anything with her. Lulu's gonna burn that ult. They're being forced to
Oh,
stay. Jinx getting a little greedy there. Maokai
keep
says,
behind from Maokai.
hello. Gonna die to
Oh.
Lulu. And then Zyra's gonna go down from the Kaisa, further extending the lead from Players Anonymous. But they do not have that flash anymore.
I
This
believe we
tower
saw
is
that
so
same
close to going
TP in
down.
game 1.
Probably.
Maokai TPing behind. Set tried to join that time and it just didn't work.
No. Jarvan, you poor soul.
He's just being
Maokai
abused in
does
his own
not
jungle.
care. Yep.
Oh, though it does look like they're going to back off the blue buff and just give it to the Jarvan.
No,
Oh,
that's funny.
Maokai's coming back.
I mean, he can at least reset it here, make Jarvan do it all over again. So
Kaisa does
Nasus
pin
right
him.
now is at 180 stacks at 15 minutes, or yeah,
Ooh.
16 minutes in. He's slacking in the stacks a little bit. He's doing much better in the first game.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Are we gonna see another fight break out?
yep. Oh, Holy Bear ulting out. Looks like this.
Nasus says, I don't care, come at me. He's gonna run him down. Diana with the humongous ult. Zyra with the ult on top of that.
The Kaisa
We have to see a
comes
couple
in.
of shutdowns. Players Anonymous taking 4, make it 5. Quadra kill from the Kaisa. That is a fed Kaisa.
Holy! That was a perfectly executed fight coming out from Caged Reaper. Though he gave his life for it, that was the perfect setup for the Kaisa to come in and just clean up all those free kills. So many low health bars just for her to walk in and queue.
So, as of right now, we have 2 dragons on the side of Players Anonymous to the 1 on the side of the Funky Ducks. 21 kills to the 10, 2 towers to 0. About to make that 3 unless Teemo can get there in time, and it looks like he will to stop that 3rd tower from dropping down. And the gold differential right now is 6.5k on the side of Players Anonymous at 17.5 minutes in the game. This is just going downhill for Funky Ducks. So
I'm
if
gonna
you're
look at
Funky
the-
Ducks right now, what do you gotta do to turn this game around?
Well, looking at the Jinx's items, I'm gonna say probably build better.
Okay.
First
like
item,
what?
Ruins. I don't think that's viable ever, at any point, for any reason.
There has been a lot of fighting going on. See, that might be
Yeah.
your mentality here, thinking if
Maybe,
we're gonna
but-
fight every single time we come back to lane, maybe I can just try and hit multiple people at once. But yeah, she does have a coal too, but I think she finished that off, so she can probably sell that at some point.
But for Funky Ducks to come back, their Nasus is doing not so great in stacks. The Teemo, they always have the win condition of a Teemo. Now that might not be like the best win condition, but if you can put shrooms in the right places, like good Teemos, they won't put shrooms in places you think normal. Like they won't put it in the middle of like, you know, jungle or blah. There'll be places you'll sweep out this entire area. You'll see there's no shrooms, and then you'll walk into one. So, Brace Pork, a Teemo main. All right, this only champion he plays in ranked. I'm kind of hoping to see some weird Teemo shroom placements.
Oh,
maybe.
Jinx is getting jumped on by the bear in the tree, and she's gonna go down to the bear.
Oh,
And Nasus says, I'm gonna run at you on top lane. I need some more stacks. Give me plus 12. Can he do it on the Kaisa?
He
He gets
can.
the shutdown too.
he had the
that is-
ghost and the ignite, or ghost and the exhaust. My bad.
That is plus 12 with stacks, and then the 650 gold shutdown going to Nasus. But we're gonna see tier 2 drop in
that
the bot
is
lane.
the plus of an unskilled spellbook Nasus right there. You can take those weird runes combinations that probably would get you reported in champ select if you did otherwise.
We see another charge coming down.
Holy Bear ulting the
Bear's
tower.
going to jump.
Oh, jeez.
Not gonna take no with them, but they're gonna take that bot inhibitor most likely.
Even without their Fed Kai'Sa,
Oh.
their team is just...
We got a fight coming in again.
Still so
Diana's
strong.
gonna take down the Zyra. Ult from the Jinx, not gonna do much damage.
Maokai goes in.
Maokai's gonna die. Volibear's gonna
Ooh.
die. Teemo gets 2. And
Looks like
Lulu's
Lulu's
probably
gonna
gonna
drop as
come down
well.
next. Oh,
Oh,
never
wait.
mind. She's gonna
Go
squeak
too
out.
soon. Oh, ooh.
Can she do it? The
Yeah,
great
it looks-
escape.
Oh, Diana re-engaged back on the Jinx. Easily kills her. Probably gonna get out. Jarvan doesn't want to fight that. So, oh, he does it again. He's got the ghost.
Nasus is just gonna go speedy onto the Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa
It's
has
gonna
no
just
sum. She has no
hammer
all.
her
Just
down.
another plus Q. Ah, that's
So-
gotta feel bad.
If I am this Nasus, right? It's a little bit easier this game, I think, than it was prior in game 1 for this Nasus to play how he wants. But if you're Nasus, getting both of these kills on this Kai'Sa, do you kind of feel like I have to get stacking now so I can try and take this game into my hands?
This Nasus, I don't think he's ever gonna be able to join his team. He needs to split push. I know it sucks to say that, but the Diana and the Lulu, it's like even if the Nasus runs in ults and you think he's tanky, the combined damage of a 5v5, the Nasus will just get melted. There's no way he's gonna get to the Kai'Sa like he has in these 1v1s with the likes of Lulu, Volibear, Maokai peeling for her. So the best way for this Nasus to help his team is just to absorb pressure in the side lane and hope that Players Anonymous will take some bad fights, trying to get a little funky.
Well, Nasus is here right now because Drake is just spawning. We're going to see a fight out on the blue side. Diana with the humongous ult taking down 2. That's a 3rd dying on the side of Funky Ducks. Nasus is going down. And that is an ace for Players Anonymous. They're just going to try and end the game, make this a quick one.
Now, I understand why the Nasus wanted to group that. I don't think Funky Ducks needed to fight that. Players Anonymous would have gotten that Drake, and they wouldn't have gotten Soul. That should have been a very just, we aren't strong enough to fight them. We're like, we're super behind. We should just let them have the dragon, push out some lanes, get some map pressure, put some vision down. But they took a bad fight, and now they're paying heavily for it. They lost a Nexus turret. That's not going to come back ever.
So Players Anonymous is not going to be able to end the game. They do take 1 turret down. They get a 2nd Ocean Drake, making it 1 more for Soul. And I tell you what, bud, a Volibear and a Maokai with an Ocean Drake
Soul
is just so crazy. Especially there is no healing reduction right now from the side of the Funky Ducks. They're going to need some Grievous Wounds ASAP.
It is not looking good if you're on the side of Funky Ducks right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they haven't built any healing reduction yet in the first place, especially with that Maokai and the Volibear both having immense healing built into their kit.
I guess it's the mentality of you're behind, you can't waste you can't waste your precious gold on, you know, items like this $800 Executioner's Calling. And
Yeah,
heaven forbid
evidently
18.
or not, 75 gold on some pink wards. Only 1 pink ward bought by their jungler over there. Jarvan's the only one. Now, I can dog on them for that, but there's only 2 pink wards bought from the side of Players Anonymous. But like you said earlier, sweepers. 3 people have sweepers, and the 2 people with pink wards are the ones that don't have sweepers. They're going to try and clear out as many of these Teemo streams as they possibly can.
It just looks like they're establishing vision now. Probably going to set up for a nice, easy Baron take. Not much that Funky Ducks could do to stop them.
Steal it.
They could steal it, yeah. They got Mr. Steal Your Baron.
Maybe not. Mr. Steal Your Baron is on the side of C10. Sorry about that. But they do have a Jinx ult, which could potentially steal that. Jarvan is down a level from the Volibear, so it's going to be kind of harder to win that Smite fight. But with the Jinx ult on top, they might be able to do that. So let's see if they can try and take this, or at least stop them from fighting it, or from taking it.
Oh, Jarvan.
Players Anonymous melting it. Oh, almost steals it with the Jinx ult. We have another fight coming out here. 1 coming down the side of Funky Ducks. Volibear's going to jump into the back line. He's going to take down the Teemo. 2 left alive. Jinx at full health, and then Nasus is going to ghost himself away. Flash from the Volibear out to the Jinx. Jinx is going to heal under the tower. She's going to not survive to Diana. Ness is left by himself. He gets polymorphed and he's gonna go down, and that's gonna be game for
that's
Players
just-
Anonymous.
And what started that fight off was Jarvan being a tad bit out of position right there. The rest of his team was behind Baron Pit. He's off in the river by himself. And when, Cage Reaper saw that, he just immediately went in, forced the Jarvan to EQ away, and then Jarvan ulted back in, which trapped him there, leading to his very quick death. But once again, Players Anonymous closing out a very, very well-played game, ending the series 2-1.
Yes, so that will be it for Players Anonymous versus Funky Ducks. Great play all around. Funky Ducks definitely threw us for a loop after that game 1, then turning the tides in game 2 and taking that victory over Players Anonymous. But again, one-sided matchup coming out. This time in the favor of Players Anonymous. Players Anonymous will continue their playoff run to take on Team Tempest in this next upcoming week. And the Funky Ducks, that'll be it for their season. Hopefully they come back next season, though. Any last thoughts you have about this matchup?
Against next week's matchup or the matchup we just played?
Oh, the one we just played.
Oh, I was actually very glad to see go to best of three or go to game 3. Funky Ducks definitely put up their fight, even though, of course, they were the underdogs here. Vastly, like, definitely, Players Anonymous were clearly a better team. I'm glad that they had some huge improvements in game 2, though. Sad to see they just got absolutely rolled in game 3, just like they did in game 1. But, it's expected when you're playing against a team much better than you. Not to say anything bad about Funky Ducks, but I'm sure their players are very good. But
Sounds like you did.
it's just
So looking ahead a little bit for Players Anonymous, they're next week going up against Team Tempest. Team Tempest finished their season 9-6. It looks like. Do you have any suggestions for Players Anonymous going into next week? Any changes you think they should make going into the next round of playoffs?
I think it's very important that they play through their bot side, because that worked game 1 and game 3. Their Kai'Sa got ahead, and that just, other than the 2 random deaths top lane from the Nasus, but can't really do much when you're ghost exhausted and getting around down. But the Kai'Sa was vastly ahead, was able to just clean up fights super easily, put your mid lane on someone comfortable so they could support. Like with the Ziggs in game 1, they had a nice easy support, could just poke down, that he one-shot the Ezreal later in the game, was just completely just made the game so much easier. Diana, comfort pick, super, super good. It appears their jungler is better on a tankier. The Rek'Sai game 2 didn't really work, so probably stick to stuff like, the set and whatnot. And Maokai seems to be like a good pick. So
what you're saying is Team Tempest ban Kai'Sa?
That wouldn't be a bad ban. Kai'Sa seemed very strong in the game 1 and game 3, but that might have been due to the amount of support that the Kai'Sa has gotten from the team. The random kill in the bot lane from the Jarvan trying to dive the tower at level 3 and gave double buffs over that definitely didn't help. But I don't know. Just both games I see victory and I see the Kai'Sa in the bot lane super fed. You put 2 and 2 together, it's like win, bot lane ahead, lose, bot lane lost.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a simple +1 = 2, right?
Simple equation.
Yep. Alrighty. We are going to step back for a few minutes. We're going to let the stream transition for our next matchup, being the Kamikaze Penguins versus Apes Together Strong for Noxus. But give us a few minutes and we will be right back.